Kill me. All right, it is what? It's Cinco de Mayo. That's what it is. Yeah, I know. We missed like a whole May the 4th. Oh, there we go. Turn it up, Daddy. Krista knows. What do you guys know about that? Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
It is May 5th, year of our Lord 2022, and we got a great show coming up for you. So Krista's got some, like I said, she's bringing some fire. She's got some good stuff that she's talking about, and she's excited to share. So listen, if you're a leader, you're a coach, if you're somebody right now that is in a position of helping others, we're going to go over the importance of why you need to understand how critical it is for the success of your people that you are constantly upgrading yourself. So, Krista, are we ready for this?
I'm ready, friends. Let's go.
All right, guys, see you back in just a few seconds. Another episode of Lunch Talk. Talk to you soon. What happened to our Cinco de Mayo music?
I don't know.
There we go. Last year we did this amazing Cinco de Mayo episode.
I remember the Cinco de Mayo episode.
Yeah, we had a lot of tequila going on that night, so it became very interesting.
Coffee, but not coffee. Good to drink though, my friend.
So funny. So anyways, you guys, talk to me. Let's hear it. How are you guys? Thank you for being here. You know the deal. If you are watching live, drop a hashtag live right now and let us know you're on. And we're excited to get into it. So Krista, help me out here a little bit. What brought this on? Like, because this is something that inspired you. Obviously, both of us as coaches and mentors to our own team. Oh, I guess you could kill the Cinco de Mayo music. Yeah, that was just for fun. But what brought it on? Because I want to know what drove you to get to this topic and why we're sharing it today.
Yeah. Well, I know that this last week you were on a self-discovery journey with Coach Kevin. I know what Coach Kevin does, at least to some degree. And so I knew that this last week you were going to be unraveled. And in order for you to put yourself back together in a newer, leveled up kind of way. And I took a similar journey myself, probably 5 or 6 years ago. It was the worst, best experience of my life. And one of the things that I learned on that journey was really how to manage my mind. And that even if I didn't have all the tools to manage my mind, it was important for me to start to understand how to manage my mind. So I had a mentor speak truth into me. I've had coaches speak truth into me. I've had people, leaders speak truth into me. And you know that I'm a huge advocate in speaking and turning around and pouring that truth into my kids. And so I knew that you were on this type of journey, this last week, and that there would be lots of aha moments to talk about when it comes to leaders and mentors and coaches and our experiences and what we've learned, so that we can at least break the seal, Cinco de Mayo, on today's call and open up people's eyes and thought processes to coaching and having mentors and the importance of that, right?
So critical. I get asked a lot of times, what's the number one thing as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, number one thing that's leveled you up? I cannot stress it enough. And that is putting myself into a place where I am being forced to level up. Yeah. I'll put it this way. And I wish I had a description. I've been wanting to do something about this, but a lot of times in our life, Krista, we get to a place where, we started from the bottom, we worked our way up, right? You guys all know the song. It's dancing around in my head right now. But here's the reality. You really ever get to where you work yourself up. And the reality is that a lot of us get to a level of, or a point of comfort, because what happens is we're doing better than everybody we know, or maybe we're doing better than anyone that's in our circle. And that should be a moment where we recognize, have we really grown, or are we just comfortable in that stage? Because what's the next level? The next level is now we have to grow, and we're going to be back at the bottom again. And we don't like that feeling, because growth hurts. Yeah. Growth hurts.
Yeah, and I think that as you grow, it's important that people speak truth into your world, so that as you grow, we minimize the damage that we can do to our own psyche, to our own ego, to our own world, and we can really enjoy the growth process, right? You and I both know the difference in growing with power and growing with hope and faith. And we also know growing in the funk and the junk and the beating ourselves up, and they both serve a purpose, but I like to grow in certain ways more often than not, than the harder ways, right? Both are hard, but one, there's a little more gratitude and appreciation and a way to go about it. And so that's, one of the stories that I shared with you today and over some time was watching that on such a simplistic stage as seeing it happen through my son. Really, I had an aha moment that allowed me to see the roles in leaders and coaches and how important that is. If I've spent money on anything, Rigo, it's been on mentors and coaches to help me through this business level up and do better and be better, and to take care of my mental psyche as I do so. I think that's super important.
Donnie, sorry, just checking some things real quick. Thank you guys very much for the help on the audio. You're absolutely right. Now, here's one of the things I think is interesting. How many times ever have you spent money on yourself to invest in yourself with a coach or a mentor that you didn't grow from, and it didn't up you didn't gain more leverage, or that you didn't up your ability to create more income, or you weren't able to grow your team? It's huge. It's one of the things that I wish more businesses did for their employees. And a lot of times, a lot of larger corporations will bring in a speaker, or they'll put their employees through a training program. But unfortunately, here's the reality. You have to want to grow for it to work. Because I can't tell you how many corporate programs I've been through, and it didn't do anything because I wasn't wanting to be there.
Well, yeah. And so if you're not in so there are three different mindsets. There's the fixed mindset. And most of you on here, if you've done any kind of mental work, you know these three different mindsets. So there's a fixed mindset, which means everything is as it is and there's no way to change it. I am who I am, and this is just what it is. And then there's a growth mindset, which is where a lot of people, they learn and understand that there's this growth there's this growth mindset, and that's where we should live. But then I'm going to take it up a level even more, and it's called the action-oriented mindset. So you understand why having a fixed mindset is not ideal. You understand the importance of a growth mindset, but not only just to grow, Rigo, but then to take action. That is that top tier, high vibration mindset that we want to live in. Not only do I want to learn the things, but I want to know how to implement, apply, and take action. And that is almost always where we need a coach, a mentor, a leader to come in and to teach us what it looks like to take risk, to teach us what it looks like to take that action that we're just petrified to take, right?
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. That's what it comes down to, action.
So I would love to know in the chat, people that are watching, where do you find yourself? And listen, let's be honest, we're all friends here. We're family, right? Are you at a level 1 fixed mindset where you're like, listen, this is who I am. There's no changing me. Are you a 2 tier, right? I'm growth minded. I know the importance of expanding and failing and being okay with failing. Or are you a level 3, an action taker? I know I'm probably going to fail, or there's a high probability that I'm going to fail, and I'm going to take the action anyways and see what happens. Where do we fall, friends? I would love to know that in the chat.
Okay, so break that down. You said level 1.
Yeah.
Is
fixed.
It's a fixed, okay.
We are who we are. There's no changing us. God made us this way, and that's the only way we're going to be. And
I am who I am.
I am who I am, and you can't change it. This is just how it is.
Okay. And then number 2.
Growth. I know that I can change perspectives. I know that I buy into all the self-help books, all the things. I know it. I see it, but I don't know how to apply it, or I choose not to apply it, or I am a information hoarder. So I'll know all the things, but I don't take any action and following through with what I'm learning and understanding about the ceiling that can be removed. And then,
you know what? Go ahead.
Well, and then to finish off, level 3, action oriented. I know and understand where growth can happen, and I'm willing to take the risk. I'm okay with falling flat on my face because I know that on the other side of that is bigger growth than if I just consume the information in the growth minded mindset and let it sit.
No, that's powerful. One of the things, Krista, that's interesting, I heard this morning, this is actually kind of a crazy statistic, but 85% of books that are purchased are never read.
Yeah.
Right. So we get the self-help, we go to the programs, and we know this. There's a lot of people that show up to these. I mean, both of us are coaches.
Yeah.
How many would you say, to be honest, right? Let's be brutal here.
Yeah.
Out of 100%, how many actually get through, follow the process, listen, stay consistent in the instructions given, and come out on top? Would you say 10%, 20%?
Well, so I would like to think that my coaching is set up for success. I don't take on people, Rigo, who are not all in. And we have a very lengthy conversation before we embark on a journey with each other, because I don't want to waste anybody's time or money. And if you're not a hell yes, all in, and you can't say that in a certain tone with me on the phone, guess what? We're not doing life together. So I would say that mine's probably a little bit higher, only because I require that commitment before we do life together. I do life with my clients, and I don't have time, energy to waste on people who are not all in and ready. And so I would say, even with that requirement and that expectation and that conversation, I would still say that it's like a 30, 40%, because here's the truth, y'all. If you don't want that result, there's no magic on this side of the table that I can have for you, right? And that's that action-oriented mindset. If you're not willing to take action and apply it and do the dirty work, you're probably not going to get to where you want to go. And that's the only person that can control that is you, right?
No, you're absolutely right, and I think that's awesome that you take that time for your team and for the folks that, like you said, that I do life.
Yeah,
I do life, and I think that's powerful, because you really, sometimes people have to get to this place where, unfortunately, there's nowhere else but up, right?
Yeah.
It's just, unfortunately, that's where it's at. But as a leader now, and as a coach, let's get into this. You talked about a lesson that we learned. Life is awesome. I love how life continues to give us every type of illustration we need to bring out. And you're talking about some time you were spending at your son's baseball game. Explain that. Let's get into that.
Yeah, so listen, we love stories, right? Like, stories are the best way for us to learn and understand. And so I actually had a really powerful conversation with a client yesterday about exactly what I'm going to share with you today, that I got to watch unfold happen with my son a year ago. And so baseball, listen, my son, y'all, he wants to be the go-to guy. He wants to be the man. When life is on the line, he wants to be the person that gets called on. He loves Jocko Willenick. That is like one of his heroes. He loves the military because of people like Pat Tillman. Like, he wants to be the guy when everything is riding on the line, that you choose and you say, you're our dude, let's go. So in baseball, on his battlefield, which is the baseball field, he wants to be that person too. Well, a year ago in May, he got the opportunity to be that person. We were playing in this tournament, and listen, Rigo, you know sports, you played sports, you understand sports. There's just those teams that when you play them, they're just your nemesis, your Achilles heel. Like, you cannot stand them. Every color they wear, everything they say, you're just like, oh, you annoy the junk out of me, right? So we're, of course, playing this team, right? And so 2 outs, 2 strikes, my son's in the batter's box. And one of the things that we talk about a lot, Rico, is our breath. Our breath is the beginning and the end of everything that we do. And so we can really calm the nervous system, and we can become really focused and present when we focus in on our breath. And that's a strategy that we've been working on my son with for a long time, because he can tend to have high anxiety, high emotions, which takes you out of the fight, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of Navy SEALs and military people, they are taught how to manipulate and change, lie detectors and interrogations by controlling their heart rate. How do we control our heart rate? We control our breath, right? And so I watch my son. He's walking up into the batter's box, and I see him working on his breath, and I'm freaking out. I'm trying not to freak out, but I'm freaking out because, listen, he strikes out, game over. This team wins. We take the second seed in the tournament. He hits a home run. He hits a single or a double. We win. He's the hero, right? And so he walks up to the batter's box. He has 2 strikes on him, and I see his coach look over at him, and he can tell there's this immense, intense amount of pressure on him to be the guy, to hit the ball out of the park, right? And this coach sees this in my son, knows this about my son, and he goes up, calls a timeout. He grabs my son by the helmet. He looks him straight in the eye, and he's like, listen, there is nobody better in this position right now. I would choose you 10 times over. You are my guy. You are the person. Whether you strike out, whether you hit a home run, you are worthy of wearing the jersey. You are worthy of being here. And I believe in you. Gosh, being a mom on the other side, sitting on the sideline, I was like, whoa, I could hear everything the coach was saying. I was hyper focused, and I saw his body language change, and he believed in him. And I was like, oh, he's going to hit a bomb. I'm like, let's go. Let's do this. So he walks up into the batter's box, strikes out. Oh gosh. Right. Oh gosh. Like, my heart sank. But here's what's crazy, Rigo. I've seen my son before strike out, and his head drops and his shoulders drop, and he walks back to the dugout. And then I see him fighting this battle in his head. The tears come down. He's a crier. He's going to be my sensitive kid. He's going to be the crier. Okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with criers. I'm a crier.
Ain't nothing wrong with a crier. He just cares that much. Right.
Yeah.
But this time was different, Rigo. This time was different. He struck out. I saw him pick his chin up. He put his shoulders back. He walked into the dugout, and he said, tomorrow, guys, tomorrow, we're going to get them. And I was like, wow, holy crap. Like, yes, like, that's what you're 10. Let's do that. Let's follow that. And I want to ask everybody watching this right now, how many times have you had somebody grab you by the helmet, grab you by the shoulders, and breathe truth into you and speak truth into you? And if you've never had that moment, if you've never had somebody believe in you, if you've never had somebody pick you up, if you've never had somebody come along you and say, hey, there is nobody better. Let's go. Let's do this. Then I want to urge you to find that person, to seek them out, because these moments matter. These moments matter, right?
It's so powerful. Krista, yeah.
So,
and I'm not saying much, right? Because you know what I just some of the things, but what I just went through is these are those times where you find who you are, where you can dig in deep, and it takes somebody to believe in you. And especially when you're in a leadership role, the importance of having your world shaken and being put into a place. You know what I was able to be reminded of in this last weekend is that I'm not the only alpha male.
Yeah.
There are bigger, badder fish out there. And it's so important that we do that. Breaking ourselves and putting ourselves in a place of humility not only reminds us of our humanity, but it allows us to be focused on where are we really spending time and attention in our life, and are we aligning our ourselves and our purpose together? Are we aligning our lives and our purpose together? Are we aligning our parenting? Are we aligning what we do in our work? See, a lot of times we speak to the entrepreneur, we're
Mhm.
speaking to that small business owner, we're speaking to leaders, but you don't have to be in that role to
No.
recognize the importance of where your life, in terms of this world, of everything that we're doing, and how you play in your significance in humanity.
Yeah.
And both
Yeah.
of us are so passionate about this, Krista, and I can't talk enough about this. But you have a place in this world to play, but you have to go find it.
Yeah.
And you have to push yourself beyond your comfort zone in order to find that boundary that then breaks, and all of a sudden you realize, man, I'm not even tapping into my potential yet.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, all the entrepreneurs or enthusiasts, people who want to start a business, you may be watching this video and you can relate to striking out. We talked about this last week with Buddy. You had this deal that you were banking on, going through, and you were excited, and you were in the batter's box and you were like, I got this. Like, I feel this. I know it's going to happen for me. And you strike out. And here's the thing, we have to use moments like that to propel us forward and to not break us. And if we don't have somebody, including ourselves, if we don't have somebody who's taught us to speak our own truth into ourselves, then we need somebody to speak truth into ourselves. My 10-year-old doesn't have life experience where he knows how to speak that truth into himself yet. Right now, his mentors and his coaches and his parents are teaching him how to speak that truth into himself. So when he's an adult, Rigo, he can do it for himself. Right? A lot of us on here never had that person in our life to speak that truth into us so that we learned how to do it for ourselves. So we rely on everybody else, right? So if you don't have that skill set, find someone to speak truth into you when you strike out, right? Because here's what happens when you do that. So this was bracket play. This was Saturday. On Sunday, now we go into the finals. We had to play an extra baseball game to make it to the finals again. And
because they lost, right? So you got to get them.
They lost. So now you had to do a game, and then a semifinal, and then a final, where if we had won, you go semifinal, final, right? So guess what we did? We worked our way back up into the championship game. And who do you think we faced, Rigo, in the championship game?
The same one. The same. Why? Because it has to happen that way.
Because it
has to.
Happens that way. Like, you can't write the script. The movie scripts you see out there, they've already been written. It's happened once before, right? That's why we know that's why it has to happen. So we face the same team again. And guess what? The same scenario wraps itself around for my son. He's in the batter's box. Same pitcher. Now, because his coach told him the day before, you are not your strikeouts. You are not your mistakes. You are not your at-bats. You are Easton Moreland. You've done the reps. I believe in you. And tomorrow we get another chance to write a different story. He took his breaths. I watched him calm his head, calm his heart, stepped into the batter's box, and was not afraid to face the dragon that he faced the day before. Same exact pitcher, except for this time he hit a single, which ran in 2 runs. So now he scored 2 runs instead of striking out, because he believed that his story of yesterday, his failure of yesterday, is not his future, because somebody breathed truth into him. I was just on a call yesterday, Rigo, with one of my busy moms who I coach in weight loss. And I said to her, Rigo, what's your win for the week? And she said, I don't have one. And I said, that is impossible. What's your win for the week? I don't have one. All right, girl, let's look through. And we found like 17 wins for the week. It's just that sometimes we get so zoned in on what's not working for us, what isn't going our way, that we don't know how to look at the good things that are happening. This mama is 20 pounds down from the first time we met. How can you tell me that 20 pounds of unwanted weight that does not serve you, there's nothing good in your life?
We just went through this exercise, and I talked to my. We're so aligned right now, Krista, with this, and I love this. Listen, right now, I hope you're listening to this. This isn't our typical, you know, Thursday program,
Right.
but there's something obviously here that's on our heart, and we want to share. And it's something that I believe that there's somebody out there that needs to hear this, and I need you to listen, because you know what we're really good at? We're really good at knowing what we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
We're really good at knowing what we're not good at.
What's
And
not
we're really, that's what's right. We're really good at what's not working. We're really good at what we don't want. We're really good at knowing what we're not good at. And we're even better at finding what we do wrong and in our faults. What we are bad at is accepting good things. Like just a compliment. Why? Because there is a process, and I'm not going to beat this up, but we are trained from youth to not feel okay with being complimented. Why? Well, think about where we are in grade school. How many times were the kids that did well? I remember this with my oldest son, who's now almost 23, and I remember thinking really frustrated that there was a lot of children that were struggling to do some basic elements, and they were being, celebrated. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there were a lot of kids that worked really hard and did really well, and there was no celebration to it. And I thought, why are we teaching our young children that it's not okay to be better? That it's not okay, that they should be okay and open with celebrating. If they're working harder, if they're working to achieve a goal that was maybe not possible, and they're doing it, they should be good at understanding how to accept that. And this is just one example of so many things we do where we grow, and we're in a job place, and it was the team. Listen, if a team was a part of it, how many times did we have projects in school growing up where everybody would have to do their part, and somebody who didn't carry their weight still got the grade?
Yeah. Well, and so I think what happens when we do that, right? It also allows us to take ownership. Like, I'm going to be rewarded when I succeed and when I do well. And I'm also going to be held accountable when I fall short and I don't show up and I don't put in the reps and I don't do the work. But that also is trained and ingrained in us by our leaders, our mentors, and our coaches. And so, one of the conversations that I had with this mom yesterday was, listen, girl, like you've got a lot of things that you're doing well and a lot of good stuff that is happening to you. And like you just said, Rigo, all you focus on is where you fall short and what you're not doing well. I need you to go into the mirror today. I need you to look at yourself straight in the eyes, just like that coach did with my son, grabbed him by the helmet, looked him deep in the eyes, and breathed truth into him about who he was. And we can do that for ourselves every day, Rigo. We can go into the mirror, look ourselves dead in the face and say, you are a work in progress. You make healthy choices. You work hard. You are an entrepreneur. Risks are an opportunity to grow. Let's go. Let's do this, right? We don't have to wait for other people to do it for us. However, right, it's never been modeled for us by a mentor, by a coach, by a leader. It's really difficult to do, which is why we're having this conversation today.
That's right.
When you're feeling failure, when you feel like you can't, if you're not sure, go speak some truth into yourself. And if you don't know how to do that, find somebody who's going to do that for you, right?
Sometimes it's what it takes. You look at the top athletes. They're a great example. They have 6, 7, 8, 9 different coaches. They have a nutrition coach. They have a physical coach in certain muscle groups, right? They have somebody helping them learn how to get the top peak performance out of themselves from resting and their nutrients and you name it. Why is it that when you look at top CEOs, they're surrounded by different types of coaches and experts in their fields for a reason? Because they want to surround themselves with areas that are going to completely challenge them and keep them focused and pull the top performance out of them. If you're a leader, if you are in a spot where you are mentoring and teaching others, if you are a coach, if you're a small business owner, This is so important for you because you are a person who is constantly filling other people's buckets. Who's
Mhm.
filling yours? Who's filling yours? You're going to burn out faster than the normal person.
Yep.
We got some stuff coming in from the moment you come into this world. If you're lucky, someone will be there by the side teaching you. This shouldn't stop the older you get. You're absolutely right. When we come into this world, we have somebody walking us through.
Yeah.
When we get older, it's even more important. And
And
so
you
the
know,
importance of this is go ahead, Krista.
it is. And you know, that's why my program is set up the way that my program is. You know, I could be like a lot of other health and weight loss programs where it's like, all right, girl, here's your thing, rock it out. See ya. I'll give you a little. No, I said it earlier and you even mentioned it. I walk this journey with you because as we get older, we think that coaches and mentors and leaders to continue to grow us and push us and speak truth into us and to model for us what it looks like to live at a level, a high level of joy and competency and health and happiness is for kids. Like we somehow grow out of that need. Well, guess what? We don't. We all have inner children within us, right? We all have that inner child that we are still taking care of no matter how old you get. And so I come alongside these moms and I show them and mentor them and teach them on how to step into their newest role. That's the action-oriented growth mindset that we pop into. And guess what? I have people above me pulling me by the shoulders and telling me like, no, girl, don't believe that about yourself. Yes, believe this about you and let's go and let's get it, right?
No, I love this. And, you know, we look at this. So right now, if you're watching, first off, here's what I want to know. I want to know is this hitting? Do you need to hear this right now? We're moving into May. We're 5 now into the 5th month of the year. Okay, and one of the things I love about what Coach Kevin had said the other day, like it's not about a magic first of the year or what's so magic about Monday, but the reality is that right now we're progressing through this year, and so you may be at that place in that area where you're looking like, man, I'm just feeling overwhelmed. Where are you right now? Are you that fixed individual or have you fallen? Have you come down from an action taker and then you went to a growth minded because this happens? Have you fallen down to the point where you're feeling like, look, this is it. This is all I got to offer. This is who I am. And I'm going to tell you what right now. First off, that's not true. Secondly, this happens easily when we forget to put into our life ways of growth, community of people that are going to challenge us, that are going to call us out and are going to uplift us. Mm-hmm. And if we don't teach ourselves and learn how to accept compliments, it's so critical. I cannot tell you enough. Accept compliments and understand your value in the area and the role that you play. And also to a position where you're training yourself to speak that positivity in your own life, right? Yeah. I did that this morning as I got ready and walked out. Yeah. I gave myself those 3 values, those 3 gifts that I have come to find by accepting those from others, who I am. And I repeated those gifts to myself. Yeah. I am this, I am that, I am that. Yeah. And I said it and I said it and I'll say it again because I don't want to forget and I want to believe it.
Yeah. And you know, Rigo, the truth is that we all, when I played college sports, you know, I was a 2-sport college athlete, and something that my coaches said to me often as I was 18, 19, 20, 21, you know, not a whole lot hits when you're that age. Cognitively, you just can't understand certain things. And so my coach always said, you are somebody's idol. You are somebody's top. You are somebody that someone else looks up to, and you never know who that is. So always conduct yourself in a certain way, behave a certain way. And when you, Rigo, you know, pour into yourself like that, somebody else is looking to you for guidance and leadership, whether they say, Rigo, you're my guide, you're my leader, you're my go-to person, they are still paying attention. And here's the deal. My greatest responsibility as a human on this earth is to raise my 3 little ones as the most functioning, mentally stable humans as I can. And when I learn how to do this for myself, when I allow other people to compliment me, to impact me, to breathe truth into me, to lead me, to guide me, I learn how to teach my kids to allow other people to speak truth into them. And also, when somebody is speaking a false narrative to them, they can identify that and go, whoa, no, not me. No, thank you. Kick rocks. See you later. Because there are going to be those people in your world as well.
Oh,
And
constantly. There's
yeah.
always going to be noise. There's always the naysayers. Listen, you need to know there will always be, and they're never going to shut up. So get that out of your head right now. If you think that that's going to go away, and in fact, the more success you gain, the more that you're learning, especially when you start to identify yourself, that's the first thing they're going to do. Like, oh, you think you're too good now.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know who's not going to be in my life.
Yeah. I love what
Right?
you also said too, Rigo. One of the things that you said is you said, where are you? Are you, fixed? Are you growth? Are you action? And listen, here's the truth. I can be action oriented in a lot of areas of my life and be fixed in other ones. Right.
Isn't that is so true.
Yeah. Like, listen, you want, entrepreneur. Yeah, I can have all the action oriented, but when there's things that I don't want to do, I can have a very fixed mindset. Like, nope, sorry, that's just how it is. And when I get called out on it by a coach or a mentor or a leader, then I have to really face that is where my brain is. And that's where my heart is with it. And now I'm challenged to bust even that barrier. And that's why having people outside of your own brain look into your world and speak into your world is so important, because they're going to call your blind sides. They're going to call out the things that you don't necessarily want to have a growth or action oriented mindset about. And we need those people to sharpen us. Iron sharpens iron, right?
That is the absolute truth.
Yeah, for sure. So, that's always the not so glittery side of having a mentor or a coach, is that with growth and really being, elevated in your truth and all that stuff, they're also going to poke the bear in places that you don't want to even admit that you need to grow. Right. And
so Krista, help me out here. So when we're looking at the three different positions that people can fall into, how do we take, what can we share with our audience right now? How does one go from becoming growth minded and they want to change, they want to see that opportunity, they know what's there. Yeah. They're not blind to the fact of seeing that there are groups, are individuals, there's ways that they can grow in themselves. How do we take ourselves here from a growth minded position and we move ourselves into action oriented? I know it sounds simple, but it's not. And we know that.
Yeah.
Right. We know that. How does one move from step 2 to 3?
Well, and so I think that's the key, right? So I think people think that, we talk about hairy, audacious goals and things that we want to achieve and risks that we want to take. We think that they have to be really big in order to be impactful. And they don't. They can be really, really small. And so one of the things that I always encourage my moms to do is take step 2 if you are on step 1. We don't have to go from step 1 to step 75 from the get-go, right? So whatever that risk is that you're coming into, that you know the things and you're in the growth-minded mindset and you know some action needs to be taken, but you're not taking it. Take that step 1 in action. And that step 1 leads to step 2, 3, 4, 5. But if we try to go from 1 to 75, we're going to fall. And listen, sometimes you're going to fall flat on your face. You're going to go from 1 to 75. But when you pick yourself back up, you go, whoa, tomorrow's a new day. Why don't I try step 3 before I try step 75, right? So it really can be as simple as, what is the next step in taking that action? And it doesn't have to be 0 to 100. Right? It can be next step.
That's exactly right. And it's small steps. Like, you talk about this a lot in James Clear's book, The Atomic Habits, which is a phenomenal book. Anybody who's in this place really should be reading. This is just be one of it's a staple. It's a staple. It's one of the books. Like, you should not go through life without reading this book.
Yeah.
Okay. And why is that? That's because James talks about the 1% growth. That 1% growth, that step forward. I was talking to the guys. I'm actually going to put this video out later, and it's in regards to this new forge hammer that I got. And it's talking about the importance of it. And I'll talk a little bit more about it in the video. But, we see this depicted in Hollywood, and you look at blacksmiths, and you see this big forging process, and bing, bing, you see the sparks flying everywhere. But in reality, that's not how a craftsman forges something and builds something beautiful. It's small hits.
Yep.
Consistently in with iron and metal and ore and all these elements that have gone through what? Gone through fire.
Yeah.
They had to go through this furnace of heat, and it's these small incremental hits that start to build and grow and take you to that level and create this beautiful masterpiece of this armory or this beautiful tool or a weapon. But all of these things are forged and built in a time process of consistency over and over again. And so a lot of times, if you're out there in a place and you're struggling with this, revisit where you're at in your goal and taking a step forward. Yeah. Maybe you're not hitting the goal as fast as you can, but are you taking steps forward? In 30 days, you can get through a month and maybe fail 4 or 5 times. But you have 25 days of success. That's 25 out of the 30.
Yeah, that's always a really hard part when, I hop on with a mama who is just really struggling in her health and nutrition, and she's miserable, and she's told me all the things that aren't going well, and she decides to take no action, right? Because they're going to Disneyland, or they're going to, they're buying an Xbox for Christmas, whatever the reason is. Her husband said no, or they don't have enough time, whatever it is. And I always circle back in 30 days, and I always circle back in 60 days with every mom that I talk to, because my heart makes a connection, and I just want to see people win. And so I don't want them to think like I'm just having a conversation and then you're gone poof out of my world, right? So I circle back in 30 days and I say, hey, where are we at? And you've had 30 days to right your ship and to start taking movement into a direction that serves you. And a lot of times, no action has been taken. Then I come back in 60 days. Hey, where are we at? What's going on? What have you done to get unstuck from where we are? And no action has been taken. And that's really hard, because that's defeating, right? Like no action, inaction builds upon itself into being paralyzed. Little steps, little action builds upon itself into great change, right? And so sometimes we need somebody to come alongside us and to encourage us to take the next action, to hammer out that next hit, so that when our life has come, and we're sitting in our last days, we can say, man, I lived a life worth living. I showed up. I took risks. I put myself out there. I learned. I had a community around me. And that's what makes life sweet and special, right? And so that's what I want. And that's why I love having mentors in my world, for that reason alone.
Sorry, Dom.
We're just playing camera test.
Yeah. Yeah.
Duck, duck, goose, you're it.
All right. We just kind of looked at each other. I'm like, all right, I'll back off.
Hands off.
All right, I'll back off.
Y'all, they give me no control. I do nothing.
Yeah. Krista's like, look, I'm just here for the looks.
I did my hair.
Right. And I do like it. I like it a lot. I'm here for the party. No, listen, this is the kind of message, you guys, that we can get into this, and there's so much more, but we want to leave you with these thoughts. Okay. Understanding and identifying where you're at. And you know what? You brought up a great point, Krista. You could be fixed in one area of your life and an action taker in another. How do you align those? Simply put, you guys, is that when you are in the role of a leader, when you are in the role as a coach, and when you're in the role as a mentor to others, and you have to, pay very close attention, because a lot of times you don't realize that this comes whether you want to or not, or you want it to or not. Mm-hmm. You can be in a position of mentorship and leading others, and they're watching you. So whether you want to or not, and you have to recognize, how am I displaying my life, and where am I struggling? And so, am I fixed here? Am I growth minded in this area of my life? Am I action oriented in this other area of my life? How can I take those together? Well, again, understanding that number one, are you, and I'll give you the question, are you putting yourself in a position that is always keeping you challenged? Okay. Are you looking for groups? Are you finding, communities of like-minded? Are you getting yourself into a place where you're always learning? Are you challenging yourself? They're out there. Are you taking advantage of that? Okay. So the next thing would be, are you in a place of comfort? And understand, comfort doesn't always mean that it's a good place. Are you comfortable feeling sorry for yourself? Are
Mm-hmm.
you comfortable knowing that you are stuck in a place of fixed and you're not, maybe even fixed in growth mindset, and you're not willing to move to the next uncomfortable position of moving into being an action taker? Okay. Are you stuck there? This comfort position is dangerous in life. This is where things start to happen. Bad things start to happen because you get identified. Are you comfortable being, you know, better than anyone in your circle? Are you comfortable? And this is the business owners. Are you comfortable just hearing oh, you did what I couldn't do. I can't believe you have the guts that I could never do what you're doing. Are you comfortable with that as your celebration? Because if that's all you were looking for is that level of uh of of ego boosting, then guess what? You got what you wanted. Are you really trying to build something that creates legacy? Are you really trying to build something that aligns with your purpose? These are the questions that I'm asking myself, you guys. By the way, I'm not just saying, oh, look how perfect I am. I put myself in these positions because as soon as I find that I'm getting too high up on my own horse, I want to go somewhere that someone's going to knock me down. I want to find bigger and badder
Mm-hmm.
alphas to help remind me that I have a lot of growth to do. I have a lot of growing up to do, and that's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
and people speaking truth into you is not always unicorns and butterflies. A lot of times it can be ownership and a gut check, right? And mentors, coaches need coaches. I don't know anybody who is successful that does not have somebody speaking, accountability and truth into their world. And so if you guys get anything from this today is that, if you're comfortable or if you're stuck or you find yourself not taking action and you know that that's going to make your life better, it's going to make you better, have somebody in your world that is going to speak truth into you, yet hold you accountable. And that's what mentors and leaders and coaches do.
Yeah. And if you can't find somebody, go hire somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just gonna tell you right now that sometimes that's what has to be done. I
Yeah,
did. Krista
I mean, the
has.
most money that I have ever invested in my business has always been around leaders and mentors and coaches to come alongside me and to push me in ways that I never would have taken myself to.
Listen, you guys, we're glad that you're here. Krista and I have one goal in mind with the Contagious Leadership Series, okay? And that is to see you become a better version of yourself and align yourself with your purpose. That's what we want. And we're going to continue to do this and bring this to you. We want to help in any way. So if you found anything that we have said valuable, let us know. Please share this with others if you find it interesting. And if you find value in what we're doing, follow us. Follow our YouTube channel. Follow the Contagious Leadership hashtag. That's a great way to see what's going on. Connect with Krista. If you are a woman right now in a place where you're looking to have a greater purpose in how you're taking your fitness or someone else's, if you have a passion to teach other women how to grow, how to become stronger moms, wives, individuals, business people through the power of fitness, then you need to connect with Krista and see what Krista's got, because this is what she's doing and she's changing women's lives. I've seen it. I've seen it for the last couple of years and I love what she's doing. You need to connect. If you're looking to take your business into a different level and understand, how am I going to move what I'm doing today and train my team differently and move into a social selling aspect that teaches us how to leverage the power of what is happening in today's social selling arena, then just reach out and let us know. We'll show you what we're doing. We'll show you how we're bringing others to that place and how we're equipping and empowering our clients to take this on and then teach their teams and move on and grow from there. We are here to do everything we can to make you better in different areas of your lives. But of course, this program, we're here just to share and hopefully empower you and give you something that you're going to walk away from and say, okay, like I'm ready to challenge myself here in this area. Right? Identify who you are. I'd love to know more about it. Drop it in the comments. Are you number one? Are you number two? Are you number three? Remember, number one was fix. Two was a growth minded mindset. Yep. And three was an action taker, an action, someone. Yes. Yep. Thank you very much. Action oriented.
I got you, boo.
Thank you. Thank you, girl. I appreciate it. Listen, we are happy that you were here. Thank you very much. As always, we're happy to bring this program to you. We're here every Thursday. We do have guests coming. I promise. We had Buddy last week, which was phenomenal. We have a lot more that we have lined up. I'm currently in the process of moving, so I've been a little bit behind, and I was gone last week. After last week's show, I took off. Oh my God, that was a 36-hour ordeal, 6 different flights, 2 different airlines, but I got there.
You did.
I did. I got there. Like with 10 minutes to spare. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Donnie, I think we're kind of wrapping this up. We'll be ready to go. You guys, will see you next Thursday. I want to hear what you have to say, though, you guys. Please do us a favor. Drop something in the comments. Let us know how this impacted you and how we can do more to bring you guys value. You guys have a blessed day. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. And Mother's Day. Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. See, dude, I need to have a giant calendar of stuff I shouldn't forget.
Yeah, you need to do some shopping for Michelle.
Yeah, I'm terrible.
Don't you forget, man.
Terrible.
Listen. Little warning for all of the rest of you. Mother's Day is Sunday. Don't forget.
That's this Sunday, apparently.
Yes. Yeah, apparently.
That's this. Apparently, it's this Sunday.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
All right, guys. Thank you for being here. We love you and we appreciate it. I mean, really, honestly, your support is amazing. So you guys have a great week. We'll talk to you next week, same time, 1 p.m. Central right here. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Take care. Talk to you later.